Right. Well, hello, everybody, and glad that we're going to go ahead and get started. And if somebody joins us in the middle, that is perfectly okay. I would ask that you go ahead and mute yourself as you join, and but we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. Right. Swap this. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let me pull up a couple of things here. All right, and if you have anything you want to ask in the chat, you can feel free to just pop that in as well. But this is a 21-day sugar reset masterclass. I'm glad that you are here. And have you been like me, where you've been craving sugary, carb-ridden comfort foods? Do you feel like maybe you've been eating too many unhealthy carbs and sugary foods and you're ready for a change? Maybe you were planning on doing it when the new year started, but we're already at the end of February and you are feeling like, okay, let me just start over. Well, that is what we're getting ready to do. I'm going to show you all about having to do it, about what a reset is. And it's only 3 weeks and I'm going to walk you through it. But let's go ahead. I think you're going to enjoy the presentation tonight. I'll answer some questions at the end. And it's a healthy way of eating is what we're going to be talking about. There's no gimmicks. There's no special food, powders, supplements you have to buy. We're going to be using real food from your local grocery store. And so before we discuss why a sugar reset might be necessary, and we're going to talk also about how sugar sneaks its way into everyday food. Some of them you might be even surprised about. And we're going to also talk about what sugar does to our body and mind. But let me tell you a little bit about me, because you might be saying, well, who are you and why are you qualified to even tell me this? So let me introduce myself. I'm Leah. I am a national board certified health and wellness coach. I'm also a speech language pathologist, and we homeschooled our children. I'm married, and both of, well, I started to say both of our children are in college, but one just recently graduated and is now working. And so I have been working with clients, with family, with friends for many, many years on health and nutrition and how to use nutrition and lifestyle modifications to help decrease symptoms and improve health. And primarily I work with women who have fatigue, digestive issues. Many have autoimmune issues. Many have trouble fitting their clothes, keeping the weight off. They have hormonal issues, joint pains. But I'm doing this primarily because of family and myself. It's been a long health journey. So let me just tell you briefly a little bit about myself. And so my journey actually began many years ago. As a child, I was overweight most of my childhood, with a small exception in high school. And I went through a time where I developed anorexia nervosa. I lost a lot of weight, and but I always had this unhealthy relationship with food. And I always loved carbs, breads, crackers, Cheetos, Cheez-Its, and I loved sugar. And so in my later elementary, middle school, high school years, it was the fat-free craze. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. But one thing the food manufacturers did, they took out the fat, but what did they put in there to make it taste good? Sugar. So that just fed into my insatiable desire for sugar. And my weight fluctuated so much, up and down, up and down. I was on a diet perpetually. My mother died. I had a lot of other personal health crises and personal things that happened. And then we had a child who had some sensory and attention issues. And so we started exploring using health and nutrition and more holistic ways to treat. And so I started doing a gluten-free diet, and we did that for a number of years. Well, then we lost 3 babies to miscarriage, and found out a few years later that I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid disease. It's an autoimmune based, but the doctors never could really pinpoint that that was the reason why that I had miscarried and all. But I also had a lot of joint pains, fatigue, just to the point of exhaustion, cramping, diarrhea, GI issues. I developed SIBO and IBS symptoms. And, but I ended up going to numerous functional medicine and integrative nutrition specialists, and finally figured out that sugar and also some other food categories really did affect me, my body and my mind, so physically and emotionally. And one of the worst for me was sugar. So I did 21 days sugar detox, and I became certified in it, along with my health coaching certification. And I felt a lot better. And I do feel a lot better when I keep sugar to a very bare minimum and refined sugar. And so I know that it affected my body, my mind, and my spirit. And I just want to help you so that you will feel better as well. But on the pictures, you can see this is me and my little girl in 2005. I wore sweats and t-shirts a lot because I had excess weight. And then this is 2019. We were on family vacation in Florida. And so this was when I was really feeling very good. And so I want you to know that there is hope and this is doable. So let's talk a little bit about the standard American diet. You've probably heard it. And these 3 graphics will kind of show you the differences that have taken place in the United States over the years. This was the food pyramid, which is what I grew up on. If you notice, a whole lot of grain down here at the bottom. Excuse me, I think they said, yeah, 6 to 8 servings of like grain and cereal and rice and pasta. I mean, that's a lot. That turns into sugar in your body, right? And so that can cause some issues in and of itself. Well, then we graduated to this that's called My Pyramid, and it's a little bit better. They do show some exercise, but they don't give the whole picture of what you need. A diet is not just the food you eat, it's everything in your life that helps your health. So then they came up with My Plate, and this is a lot better. They show a plate, which I think is a good visual. You can see half of it is fruit and veggies. The other half, they say, are grains and proteins. Don't necessarily agree with this. And then the dairy, they've left out water. They've left out some healthy fats. They've left out exercise. But if you notice here in the next one, this is the healthy eating plate. And this one is a whole lot better. If you notice, they have your dinner plate and about half of it with veggies and fruits, but they show you that veggies should actually be about 2/3 and fruit only about 1/3. Your whole grains, they do show it as half and half, but they do have a little note over here. And what it says is, it does talk about brown rice, and it talks about limiting refined and all. And they do have water, and they do mention some healthy fats, and they talk about staying active and limiting deli meats. So this one is a lot better. There are some things in this that some people's bodies don't tolerate. And so part of what we're going to do during the 21-day sugar reset is we're going to figure out what works best for you and your body. All right, so let's go on and let's talk about, these are some typical foods in the standard American diet. And I don't know about you, but this is the way I ate growing up. We had cereal, toast, orange juice for breakfast, maybe a sandwich and chips for lunch, dinner, pasta with some meatballs, dessert. And we thought, well, maybe we were being healthy, just a protein bar and yogurt. However, all of these have refined sugar in it. You'd be surprised. Most of these protein bars are just glorified candy bars, and yogurts have so much sugar. I'm going to show you a slide that shows you how much sugar it has and all. But today, you know, we think we're doing well. We're giving this to our kids and we think we're giving them food, but really, if you look at all this, where are the veggies? Other than this little parsley here, there's absolutely no veggies at all, right? And the only fruit I see is really right here in the orange juice, and that has a whole lot of concentrated sugar and maybe a few raisins and all. But this is the way I was raised, and probably you too, you know. It basically was convenient, right? Excuse me, and affordable, but all of them are very high in sugar, even the spaghetti noodles and the breads and the cereals. So if you see this list, these are names that just basically mean sugar. It's a long list of sugar, and you may have seen these on the back of your products that you buy at the grocery store and all. Food companies are very sneaky. What they will do is they will use different names on the back of their packages so that you don't realize you're eating sugar. And why do they do that? Because sugar is addictive and it makes you want to buy their product again. So let's talk about the impact of sugar on your body. Does sugar offer us any vitamins, minerals, enzymes, or fiber? No, it does not. With the exception of some pure honey or pure maple syrup, it provides a little bit. However, it's going to turn to sugar in your body as well. So our blood sugar, once we take in sugar, our blood sugar levels in our body will spike and then it will crash. And then if we're eating a lot of that, we're not going to be hungry and want real whole foods, you know, like good healthy protein, fats and veggies and fruits, carbs and all. So then we're going to have a depletion of nutrients. And so then we've crowded out the nutrient dense foods, and then our body is just crying for something else. So it causes the brain chemicals to make us crave more and more. Let me show you some of the other impacts. These are some short-term impacts on your body. These are showing what sugar can do to your body. This lady, she has just eaten sugar maybe an hour or two before, and she's driving, and now she's having a mood swing. She can't handle the traffic, and she's becoming very upset. Road rage. And then this lady has PMS. Sugar does not help PMS. In fact, it worsens it. There are studies for that. This man is exhausted. Sugar will cause your blood sugar to elevate. So you have this rush, and then you're going to crash and you're going to be more exhausted than before you even ate it. It also, if we have sugar so much in our body, it can decrease our immune functioning and cause us to get sick more frequently, and it can cause skin rashes and acne. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the long-term effects on our body. And so when you eat a high sugar and high carb diet, it can lead to inflammation, which can cause long-term health deterioration and disease. And here are some of the long-term effects. So depression and anxiety, Alzheimer's disease, it's actually being called type D diabetes, diabetes type 3 now, infertility, type 2 diabetes, we know is caused by poor nutrition and lifestyle factors, and eczema, psoriasis, and insomnia can be caused by elevated blood sugar and cortisol levels. So let's talk a little bit about hidden sugar. Did you know, remember the list of names of sugar that I showed you a little bit ago? Well, that is hiding in all of these foods, in your bread, your peanut or nut butters, your cereals, pasta, salad dressings have so much sugar. You'd be surprised, and even some of your deli meat. And those are savory foods, right? So how much sugar are we actually eating? Well, the American Heart Association recommends about 9 teaspoons of sugar a day for men and 6 for women. And so that ends up being around 25 grams of sugar, if you're looking at grams and thinking in grams and all, okay? So the average person, about 25 grams of sugar. However, the average American consumes an average of about 25 teaspoons. So you see it's 9 for men and 6 for women. And we consume about 25 teaspoons, which is a half a cup per day. That's 100 pounds a year. So if you think about it, Americans are eating about 3 to 4 times the recommended amount of sugar. That's unbelievable. So if you look in these Coke bottles and Coke cans, the Coke can has about 10 cubes or 10 teaspoons of sugar. The small bottle has about 16 and a half, and the larger bottle has about 27 and a quarter. Then Pop-Tarts, which was a staple in my house growing up, we ate Pop-Tarts for breakfast and thought it was a healthy meal. That has about 8 teaspoons of sugar in it. And here we're talking about the yogurt. You know, I mentioned it a little bit ago. This yogurt has 6.5 teaspoons of sugar, and even the light has 3.5 teaspoons of sugar. That is a lot. Remember, 6 teaspoons of sugar for women per day. So if you ate this and you're a woman, guess what? You've about had all of your sugar that you need for the whole day, right? And this, it would be that, and you're halfway there. So you can see how much sugar they're putting in the foods to make them addictive. Now, we have an apple and some rolls. And a lot of people think, well, this apple has the same amount of calories as the rolls do, say around 100, 180 calories, right? So is this equal to this? Well, we know the answer is no. Why? Because the apple has macronutrients. Now, you probably remember those. Those are just nutrients in our foods, the proteins, the carbs, the fats, right? Those are what contain the nutrients that we need for our body to function properly, okay? We also need micronutrients, and those are vitamins and minerals, okay? So these are both types of carbs, but I think you can realize that an apple is a healthier carb, right? Sugar is a carb. An apple and the bread, they're both going to turn into sugar in our body. However, what does the apple have that the roll doesn't have? An apple is a complex carb. That just means that because it has fiber also, it's going to stay in our system a lot longer before it's digested, which is going to keep us full longer, so our blood sugar levels aren't going to crash, and we are going to actually absorb nutrients from that apple that are going to give us energy and are going to help our body function. Whereas the bread is going to be digested quickly because there's no fiber and there's very little nutritional value. So we're just going to be craving something else within an hour or two after eating a bread roll, right? So why do we eat so much sugar? Well, it's basically just a cycle, right? And so here we're hungry. So say we eat some bad carbs, like say we eat a piece or two of cake, okay? And so then it's digested, it hits our bloodstream, and then we get this dopamine hit. That's that neurotransmitter in our body. It's just a chemical that says, oh, I feel good, right? I've got energy, I'm excited, and I can just do whatever, right? So it makes us crave more of that feeling, right? So we want to eat more of the sugar, the sugary treats, the cake, right? But the problem is we're not getting the healthier carbs, like the fruits and the veggies. So then we don't have any nutrients. And so then our body's craving more, but instead of reaching for something healthy, we reach for the high sugar. You see how it's just a continuous cycle? Oh, man, I gotta fix that. Sorry about that. I need to make myself a note about that. So let me read you what this quote says. It says, when it comes to stimulating our brains, individual ingredients aren't potent. It says, but by combining fats, sugars in innumerable ways, food manufacturers have actually created a feedback loop that stimulates our reward system so that we want more and more even when we're full. And even though this is from 2009, it's still relevant today, right? And it's how food manufacturers have captured our brains. So why is nutrient density important? Okay, well, as I explained about the macronutrients and the micronutrients, when we don't fill our bodies with those things, then what happens is our body's going to be craving more food. And it keeps wondering, well, the next time we eat, nutrition's going to be there, right? But then we are craving from the dopamine hit, we are craving more of that. So we eat more unhealthy food. So we're basically like these kids on a roller coaster. We're up and down, right? And then our emotions are up and down. So you wonder why when you go through a spree where you're eating a lot of sugar, and you wonder why your emotions are up and down and why you feel so moody. Okay. And then it started affecting our health overall. It deteriorates, and we become more susceptible to various illnesses and diseases. And I know you don't want that. And so here are some of the diseases that have been caused by elevated blood sugar levels. If you have maintained elevated blood sugar levels for too long, it's going to cause weight gain, lead to obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, tooth decay, and gut bacteria dysbiosis, which just means your digestive system is all messed up. And that's the IBS, the Crohn's, the colitis, and all. So some people say, well, I don't have time to prep and cook, Leah. Well, in the sugar reset, you're going to see how easy it is to create quick and simple meals that are healthy. They're nutrient dense. They're not loaded with a lot of sugar. There's going to be a lot of tips for meal prep, and I'll provide some more guidance. And so it's as simple as math. You're just going to take a healthy protein. You're going to add a healthy fat. You're going to add some veggies and fruits, a little bit of fruit. That's going to be your carb, and then some flavoring. And those are going to be your meals, and even mini snacks. And there's a whole lot, if you look on here, that you can have. Some of my favorites that I eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner is I'll have some ground turkey. I'll eat a half avocado, some leftover veggies, maybe from dinner the night before, and I'll put some seasonings, maybe a little olive oil, some balsamic. Or I'll eat some leftover chicken in a big salad with some nuts and olive oil dressing and maybe a few apples or blueberries. And that's a healthy and filling meal. So what is a 21-day sugar detox or reset? So like I said, there's no special gimmicks. There's no pills or powders. There's no supplements. There's no diet food, okay? We simply are learning how to eat delicious, real whole foods that you buy from your store, so you don't feel hungry, you don't feel deprived, and you're going to learn that this is the way we need to be eating, and it'll help you feel better, and also your family is going to enjoy the meals as well. So the 21-day sugar detox, which is kind of the spine that we're going to be using, was created about 10 years ago by Diane Sanfilippo. It's 3 weeks, real food-based. It's going to help break your dependence and those cravings and addictions on sugar. And there's going to be a supportive group of like-minded folks, right? I think you're going to really enjoy it. And what are some of the benefits? Well, some of the benefits that I've heard are increased energy, more stable moods, reduced inflammation. And we know that inflammation is the primary cause of disease nowadays. Improved immune function, and I know we all want that. Clearer thinking, so no brain fog, and possible weight loss. Some people have lost a few pounds. That's not the primary goal, but you're going to feel less bloated and your clothes are going to feel better, right? And a few of the things some of my past participants have said is they don't have the food cravings. They don't feel like they are having, they're drawn to the chocolate in the house. It transforms their relationship with food, and they learn ideas for subbing and swapping, because I give you a lot of extra bonuses to help with that. There's some dining out specials that we'll learn about. One person said she loved the shopping list and the recipes, and she liked that it was planned out, and she liked the extra help and accountability. And let's see, just a few other things. Had some more confidence in their overall wellness journey, and they learned more about whole foods that they didn't know before. So who is this for? Really, it's for anybody. Busy moms and families, athletes can use it, employees in the health industry, business, teachers, anybody can use it. And there are modifications for athletes and nursing and pregnant moms. And I'll show you, and we'll adapt it for your body along the way. So what are some things you can eat? Well, in the guidebook that we're going to use, there's over 70 recipes with complete instructions, beautiful pictures, meal plan, prep guide, and shopping list. And I'm going to be providing some extra as well. The recipes are real food. They are really delicious. You have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks are included. And I'm going to help you modify it. The basic plan used to talk about only having one piece of fruit a day, and it was limited to either a green apple, a green banana, or a grapefruit. However, we are going to add some berries in there, and I also am going, and I'm also suggesting you include about at least two a day, and I will talk to you individually and help you figure out the level, because there are 3 levels for the program, and they vary according to how intense or strict. And I'm going to help you figure out if you can add in some more fruits or a little bit more some starchier carbs, because we do eat non-starchy and starchy carbs. Plus, the original plan called for no sweeteners at all, no sugar, honey, and not even like stevia or monk fruit. However, we are going to focus on using the stevia and the monk fruit as needed, and then even some honey the first week or so, and then we'll tailor it for you, and maybe the last week go without that and all. If you've been eating a standard American diet, I don't want this to totally wreck your world, and I want this to be doable and sustainable is what I want. And so here's some examples of some meal swaps, which people really love. So instead of oatmeal, we're going to have something called oatmeal, which is really good. Instead of just white flour, white sugar scones, these are some grain-free scones. They're really tasty. And instead of just the garbanzo bean hummus, which that is okay to have, the original plan didn't say, but it really is. But there's also a recipe for cauliflower hummus. And then instead of pizza made with white flour and all, there is some pizza that's made with grain-free flours and also a cauliflower, which is real tasty. And so what's included in the program? So we're going to have 3 weeks of health coaching, and actually a little bit more than that, because I'm going to be doing a pre and also a post week with you. We'll have 4 video Zoom sessions where we go over what to expect from the next week. That'll just help you be more successful. There'll be a private Facebook group with daily online support, as well as daily emails. I'm going to be sending out with additional tips and bonus PDFs and recipes. And the week that's post detox is usually when we work on reintroduction. And so I'm going to be available one-on-one to each one of you for a free 20-minute session. So you may be asking now, what's the investment, Leah? Well, the investment for all this is only $127. But if you sign up by March the 3rd, it's only $99. So you can go to nurturingyourlife.com. You click on the Sugar Detox at the top, and that'll take you to, you can see all the details, and that's how you sign up. Or just reach out to me and I will show you, I will also tell you how to do that. All right, so let me just give you an example of a couple little 3 tips that we talk about throughout the program and thought y'all might like this. These are 3 tips to use when the sugar monster is calling, right? Because we know it's not if the sugar monster is calling or knocking at your door, but when, right? So the first one is HALT. And this is an acronym. You want to first ask yourself, are you really hungry? Because you might not be really, truly, physically hungry, right? It could be that you're angry. Maybe you're feeling anxious. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're tired. That's the acronym for HALT. And then I added this one. Maybe you're just bored, right? So if if it's not true hunger, because if it's true hunger, then you need to eat a snack or a meal. Maybe you didn't eat enough at your prior meal, right? Or if it's another emotion, then you want to address that, right? Eat if it's a real hunger. If it's not, address what the real issue is. So here's another tip. Distract yourself for 10 minutes. Distractions always work. You can set a timer for 10, 15 minutes and go do something else. Go take a walk, get out of the kitchen for a little bit, go outside and read, play a game, listen to music, do something that will distract yourself. Usually within about 10, 15 minutes, that craving will pass. Or here's one of my favorites is go brush your teeth. I like to do this right after a meal because once you have that clean feeling in your teeth, you don't want to mess it up with food, right? So try one of these the next time the sugar cookie monster is calling your name. All right. And I do have a free bonus that you can get. It's a freebie. Just ask me for it. It's 5 quick tips to kick your sugar cravings, and I'll be happy to send that on over to you. And so if there are no Q&A, and I don't see any right now, then that's all. I'm so glad that you joined us tonight. And, just go to nurturingyourlife.com and click at the 21 Day Sugar Detox at the top of my menu, and you can sign up there, or just message or email me at leah@nurturingyourlife.com, and I'll be happy to talk to you about this. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day.